Thank you for clicking on this video. Give me a minute to let you guys know what's going on. And I'm not talking about the game commentary. I'm talking about what we changed with the deck. So quickly, we added 3,000 worlds. We added 3,000 worlds. We added 7-drop Borsalino, and we took out Red Rock and a few other things. Reasons? Well, because too often there's more so one good target rather than two good targets. So instead of like kind of overspending using Gravity, Tiger, Hadouken, and bottom decking one decent target, one not so decent target, we just got the 3,000 worlds and focus on the decent target. And figuring that adding the 3,000 worlds can really help us control the early and mid game more efficiently to where the late game is even less threatening. And then the Borsalino, also on curve, and it's like a better value. You can just use him to bottom deck the 4-drop. So once again, if there's only one decent target versus two, you got Borsalino, and instead of using your Mihawk to get rid of these smaller bodies on the board because there's not much of a good target, like roughly, you definitely want to feel good about yourself. You want to bottom deck at least a 5 with Mihawk, right? To feel good about yourself. But when you start bottom decking 3s and 2s, and it's a sad experience. But now we got Borsalino for that. Cool. And then with the addition of Borsalino, that's more power in the deck. So we have bigger, stronger characters, which should help us fight back against bigger bodies on the opponent's board, which is why it seems okay to take out the Red Rock. And essentially, we're going through our plays and we're gonna, see how the overall experience is and continue to just, I guess, update along the way until we feel like we've made the Doflamingo deck like truly compatible with this meta, with this current format. So thank y'all for watching. Overall, we also are working on other decks, so do expect to see some leaders that you guys probably wouldn't imagine. It just takes more time. It takes more time the lower down the tier list you go to try to make a deck basically efficient. But that's our overall goal, is to make decks to make you feel comfortable saying, hey, I could take this to my locals. We kind of, I know there's a lot of entertainment videos out there, but that's the competitive mindset in our team, is like, oh, we want to feel like we can take this deck into a little tournament and get some wins, So, all right, let's get to the game commentary. This Luffy, I feel like, is probably the best out of the 3 brothers. I want to say most people are going to agree with that. But one thing I find is how crazy these shenanigans are. Hey, I could play with 0 life because I can spam Sabo blockers, essentially. And I feel like the Sabo blocker build is like the best one because I see people, playing different types and not using that blocker. But just being able to spam Sabo blockers and then have the Luffy leader be 9k, I could essentially just play on 0 life. It doesn't matter if you can rush Luffy past my blockers. It's like, okay, well, I'm just gonna discard a couple of cards and counter out real easy. It's insane. The shenanigans is just insane. But I find it funny just being able to do that, right? Being able to just protect your board from KO effects and pump your leader to 9k and still not be like number 1, 2, or 3. Right? It's a weird format we're in. It's kind of how I feel, but it's understandable when you see the top dogs and what they're doing. It's like, oh, okay, I get it. There's nothing you can do about that. It is what it is. Here, swinging on the boa. Let the boa go. We got plenty of life, so we don't really need to overprotect. If this person starts choosing to go for life like they are now with a 10k swing, simple. Just take the swing. See, 9k? That leader is good for that. Want to go for the block? I mean, there's so much life. And we got 2 1-drop blockers. Wow, but there's no... Yeah, okay. In a moment like, oh, okay, wait, forget it. I wasn't really paying attention. For all I know, he probably set his top 5 up. Okay, then. Well, Mihawk is here. I was about to say, with such a lack of power in hand, I probably would have just took the life to see if I can get a bigger body to drop. Because it don't get me wrong, it's fantastic to see some 1-drop law blockers, but what is this board supposed to do? And that's the power of being able to have leaders pump so high, because essentially you just like you're negating multiple attacks is what I'm trying to say. It's like, oh, okay. It doesn't matter that he can attack me this much. I mean, he can't, I should say. He can't attack me this much because I'm just too juiced up. So the Moria shenanigans, I hate that card. That card should be errated or, I don't know, banned. I don't know. I'm okay with that. I'm willing to say ban. Get this thing out of here. Nah, errata. I like when they errata a card instead of banning a card. That's how I personally feel. Wow, 3,000 worlds trigger. Is there a target? There's technically no targets because I think it's a 4, but he understands. He has no blockers. We have a 9K Don stack. Go for game. GG. Oh, and subscribe. That way you guys won't miss the magical decks we create with a bibbidi bobbidi. Okay, let me get out of the way of that. But yes, it's gonna be fun. And of course, feel free to make a request. It's gonna take some time. The lower down the tier list, the more time we're gonna need. But we got y'all. Thanks for watching.